Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to set up like a pro crypto trader. Now you're going to have everything you need to be able to safely trade, transact and invest in the cryptocurrency space. First things first, you're going to need a pen and a paper to get yourself started. We're going to cover VPN setup, encrypted emails, exchange setup, two-factor authentication and cold storage. Okay, now if you can set up on a fresh machine, so if you can go out there and buy a laptop or a computer that is specifically just for crypto trading, I recommend doing that. If you can't, you're going to need to pick a browser that is specifically just for crypto trading activities. Now in this case where I'm going to use Chrome. Now we're going to go into Chrome, we're going to clear all our website data, all cookies, forms, cache, images, files, just basically wipe the slate clean, make sure we're up to date with the latest software, and then we can get started.
Okay, first things first, let's go into the browser and clear all our past history, all our cookies, website data, forms, all that sort of stuff, cache, images and files, passwords, everything. There we go.
Okay, now we're going to set up one of our first encrypted email accounts. We're going to set up a junk email account that we're going to then go ahead and use to buy our VPN. Now, when we set up email accounts, we use two services. We use Tutanota and ProtonMail. One is out of Germany, the other is out of Switzerland. They're encrypted email accounts. Nobody's going in there, snooping around, scraping our information, reselling it, seeing what we're up to. That's why we use them. Now, we're going to be setting up a lot of free accounts with these guys, and I do recommend that you donate to the services unless you're going to go ahead and obviously use a paid service. Every time we create an email account, we use a procedure. Now, this procedure is very simple. You get a piece of paper, you write down your username for that email, then your password underneath. You write your password down twice. You make it a very long and strong alphanumerical password. So you've got capitals, lowercase, numbers, hyphens, symbols, everything in there. You want to make it as long as possible. I recommend a minimum of 18, but really between 24 to 32. That's where you want to aim. Now, if it's an exchange email, I recommend making it at least 32 characters.
Okay, this is how we set up a Tutanota email address. We put our email up in this field here. We have a very strong password. We've written it down twice on a piece of paper. We've read the terms and conditions, and we're going to create the account. Okay, same story for ProtonMail. Put in your email, a very strong password. You've written it down twice on a piece of paper. Then we go through, we put our backup account at Tutanota. Then we go ahead and create the account.
Okay guys, we've now created a junk email account. We're going to use that junk email. We're going to head over to torguard.net and we're going to buy a VPN to encrypt our internet traffic. Let's go and do that now.
Okay, we've just clicked on the Torguard link. Now we're going to set up our VPN. It's very simple. We just go down, anonymous VPN. We're going to buy that now. Now a payment method will be Bitcoin, Litecoin and crypto. Put in your email address, your password for your VPN, not your email address. Obviously, you've read the terms and conditions. Go ahead and place that order. You're going to get redirected to the coin payments invoice. Now, that's how we're paying Bitcoin, crypto, Litecoin. Click coin payments, select how you're going to pay. So we're going to do it with BTC, complete checkout. Okay, here we are. We're at the coin payments invoice section. We're going to whip out a hot wallet and just pay this invoice. Now, it may take up to 2 hours for it to show on the Torguard website. So in the meantime, we're going to go and set up the software for the VPN. Okay, back to Torguard. Let's set that VPN up. What we can do is go straight to setup, which is up here. Let's have a look what operating system we're on. We're on a Mac OS X. We're going to use L2TP. Click the documentation. Okay, we've clicked on the setup. We've got everything we need to be able to set that VPN up. Now, I'm not going to repackage Christmas. You have the available resources here to do it yourself. So follow these instructions for your operating system.
Okay, now we've gone ahead and we've set up encrypted email accounts. We follow a very similar procedure when it comes to setting up exchanges. So we use a fresh piece of paper and we go ahead and we write our user, our email, our pass, authenticate, authenticate. Now, when we do our email twice, obviously in the top and then the lower field, and the first thing we do once we get into that exchange, once we've clicked our confirmation email through the encrypted email service, we then move over, enter our credentials into the exchange, and the first thing we do before we deposit or start looking around is we set up two-factor authentication, and that's what the authenticate pass on the bottom is for. So you back up your two-factor authentication. Okay, now it's very important that you do this by hand. You do it on paper. It's not connected to the internet. You don't do it with a password manager. You don't do it in notes or something like that. You do it on a piece of paper. It is the same procedure that I've used for 5 years now in the crypto world, and it has not failed me. Okay, now we're going to set up Google Authenticator. Very simple. If you've got an old iPhone, Android, something like that that doesn't connect to the internet, even better. We don't recommend using the laptop or the device that you're using to log on to the exchanges. Now, the reason we keep things separate is called segregation. It makes hackers' job a hell of a lot harder to get into two devices, especially when one does not connect to the internet. Now, if you're going to be using it on your personal phone, ensure that you don't have cloud backups. You don't want your keys in the cloud. Now, very simple, go to the app, Android store, whatever it is, download Google Authenticator. Then when you log into an exchange, when you're setting up your account, you go into your security settings, you click add, you scan the barcode, the QR code, you then enter the details that change. They probably change about every 20 seconds. Now, you've already backed up your authenticator key, enter it. Most exchanges will ask you to confirm via an email link, so they'll say click this to confirm the changes. Bam, you've now got two-factor and you're ready to go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set up on a large BTC to fiat exchange. We're going to use Bitfinex as an example. Now, some of you may just want to search Bitcoin exchange, find the results that come up on Google, and then vet a domestic exchange in your territory. So what you do, you find the exchange, you don't click on the ads because a lot of these can be phishing ads, so you find the top search results. Click on the exchange, read a bit about it, then go on social media, have a look, find some reviews and study this exchange. You know, has it been around for a while, and what are other people saying that's using it? Remember, you're sending these people your money, you want to know about them and you want to make sure their business is tight. Other people may want to use something called local Bitcoins. Now, local Bitcoins can be quite popular. It's also one of the few avenues you can go ahead and get Bitcoins with cash. Now, that is a very popular way to get Bitcoins. Follow the link and check out local Bitcoins. It's so simple to set up an account. You can see all of the best offers. Generally, you're going to pay like a 6% premium on local Bitcoins, even more if it may be cash. But remember, this can be a lot quicker than some of the exchanges that are going to go through a whole bunch of verification processes. So check it out and see what you think.
Here we are at Bitfinex. You open an account, you put in your username, your fresh encrypted email address, and then your password that you have already backed up. You then click account and you follow the instructions. Okay, here we are. We're in Bitfinex now. As we said, first things first, what we do, we go to account security. As you can see, I've already enabled my two-factor authentication. There it is. You can also set up a number of these two factors. I recommend Google Authenticator, and off we go.
We are now going to go ahead and set up on Poloniex and Bittrex, two of the older and bigger alt exchanges. They have huge liquidity, they have a lot of altcoins. It is essential that you get yourselves on Bittrex and Polo. So let's go ahead and do that now.
Okay, here we are at Poloniex. We're making sure we're in the right spot. So we're checking POLONIEX.com. Nothing weird going on up there. We move over to create an account. Now, once we get in here, we're going to select what country we're from. We're going to enter our new fresh encrypted email that we have backed up. Then we're going to put our Poloniex password in the top field, our below password that we've repeated in the lower field, and this makes sure that we're not going to make a mistake and then not be able to get back in. We then complete the captcha, agree to the terms of service, and then we're good to go. Register. Okay, we found ourselves over at Bittrex, BITTREX.com. Nothing strange going on there. Let's go to login. Now, when we go to login, it's asking for our credentials. We don't have any, so we're going to sign up. Okay, as we get to the sign up page, we've already created a fresh email account on Tutanota or Proton Mail. We've backed up that email address. Now we're using the procedure we use for exchanges. So we've got email account, password, authenticate, authenticate. Obviously putting the top password there and the bottom password there. That makes sure that we haven't made a mistake when it confirms. We're going to read the terms of conditions and then agree, sign up.
We're going to go set up on Cryptopia now. Cryptopia have been around for a while. They're hosted out of New Zealand. Guys behind it are pretty cool. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Okay, we found ourselves over at cryptopia.co.nz. We're going to click register. Once we get here, obviously a new username. We've got a fresh email account that we've just set up over at Tutanota or Proton Mail. A very long and strong password. Username, email, password, authenticate. In this case, our 4 to 8 digit PIN code is our authenticate. We're going to read the terms and conditions. After we've accepted them, we're going to go through the captcha. No, we're not a robot. We're clicking all the vehicles. That's their tires, but we'll see. Yeah, more vehicles. Here we go. Okay, register.
A lot of people have been waiting for this one. We're going to go ahead and set up on Bitmex. Bitmex are a huge margin trading exchange. You can trade Bitcoin with up to 100 times leverage. You can also access the future markets and any number of altcoin derivatives that trade on that platform. Now, be very careful with Bitmex. You can leverage up to 100, but I don't recommend it. Try to keep yourself between 5 or 10. You don't want to end up on the Bitmex wrecked list. That basically means that you've been liquidated. So trade responsibly.
Okay, here we are. We're at Glorious Bitmex. We've got a fresh email account from Tutanota or Proton Mail. We're going to put that one in there. Our password. Now, they don't ask us to confirm it. So obviously when we log back in, that's going to be very important. Country of residence, you choose obviously where you're from, your first name, last name, so that could be anything. Then we slide across, read the terms of services, accept, and then click register. Let's have a quick peek at the trade engine. Here we are, very flash. You can see there is a lot happening. Up here, we can trade Bitcoin to Japanese yen. We've got Dash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Monero, Ripple, Tezos, and Zcash. So there is a lot happening. You've also got the futures market for Bitcoin, as you can see here. So what the closing price on December 29th is, what the market thinks it's going to be. Right now, it's trading at a slight discount.
The next platform we're going to set up on is something called OneBroker. Now, I like OneBroker because we're able to deposit in Bitcoin and then trade any number of stocks, forex, and commodities. They also have another amazing feature which allows you to copy successful traders. So when you go in there, have a look, you can actually see the past returns of successful traders. Now, these guys have different risk profiles. Some guys have like level 5 risk. I've seen these guys up like 1600% for the month. I've also seen them down 1600% for the month. So if you're going to copy successful traders, you're going to want to look for somebody that is consistent over a longer period of time. So I don't care if somebody's making 14% per month or a year, as long as they're consistent, I'm willing to put money on that. So let's go set up a OneBroker account now.
Okay, here we are now. We found ourselves at OneBroker. So simple. Username, fresh email account, extra strong password. These guys don't allow you to confirm password as you put it in the field. So when you log out, log back in and make sure that password is correct. Use the same procedure that we've been using this whole entire session. Okay, have a look. We're in the market section here. We can trade the ASX 200, the Dow Jones Industrial. We can trade things like Alibaba, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft Corporation, Snap, Tesla Motors. Keep going down. As you can see, we can trade gold, oil, natural gas, silver. Then we've got the Forex, AUD to USD, Euro to pounds. It's all the same. We can do it right here at OneBroker. Okay, we've just logged into OneBroker. We're checking out some of the traders we can copy. This guy here is up 5 times your money this month, but he has a risk level of 4. Look below at Snortex here. This guy is down 1,572% this month. That is insane. If you are copying Snortex this month, you have been wrecked. Now, move over to the right here. Look at this. This is more my style. Risk level 1, he's up 25% this month. Risk level 1, he's up 58% this month. And risk level 1, 115% this month. That is my style. Stay away from risk level 5 unless you want to get wrecked.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set ourselves up with a hardware wallet. A hardware wallet is an essential part of every crypto trader / investor's arsenal. You need to own one of these things. Now, I've had huge love for Trezor over the years. I've known them, I've trusted them, never let me down, but recently I have fallen in love with the Ledger Nano S. These things are sleek, smooth, and sexy. They also have multiple currency support, so they've got Vertcoin, Ripple, Litecoin, Dogecoin, Zcash, Bitcoin. I think there's one or two more currencies, I just can't remember. Now, they said they weren't going to be shipping until November the 8th. I've gone ahead, I bought a couple of these and I've got a confirmation email that says they're on the way. I'm just going to have to check with that. Now, I can never wait for these things to come out. I'm always buying express shipping. I sort of FOMO myself into this because I want to get my coins off an exchange. I want to get them out of hot wallets. Anything I've set up in the past, I just feel more comfortable in a really nice secure ledger or Trezor. We're now going to talk about setting up a hardware wallet with Trezor. Now, we're using Trezor here because these are one of my trusted brands. I've known them and I've used them for years. They've never let me down, never been a problem. So what we do here is we get our Trezor in the mail. We verify that it's an actual Trezor. We go to the mytrezor.com website and we follow the instructions. What they're going to ask you to do is write down, they're going to ask you to back up your mnemonic seed. So it's just a long string of words that will allow you to reclaim your private keys if you ever so lose your trusted Trezor. Now, you obviously follow the same procedure that we have used before. You write the password down twice and then you back up that piece of paper and store it separately. Now, Trezor will then ask you to put in a 6-digit PIN code. You also need to write that down twice and store it somewhere safely. So that is going to enable people to access and broadcast transactions from your Trezor. Now, you want to be very careful where you store these. You don't want other people to be able to get them because then they're going to have access to your cold Bitcoins. Now, it's very simple. Each time you plug your Trezor into your computer, that is how you're going to broadcast a transaction. You're going to use the Trezor USB. You're then going to have software on your computer that creates a bridge between the internet and your Trezor. And then if you would like to broadcast a transaction, you authorize it with a PIN. It is so simple to be able to use a hardware wallet. Everybody needs one. If you're in crypto, you definitely need a Trezor. So that's the basics of using hardware cold wallets. Now let's go and move on. Here comes the fun part. We're now going to set up all of our socials. Now, the socials are an important part of crypto trading because this is where you're able to connect with other traders. You'll be able to get the latest trends, see what's happening, gauge a bit of sentiment, and then go ahead and act on that. Now, it doesn't mean like when you read something, go ahead and do it. It means, you know, gauge the sentiment. So if everybody is saying, go, 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 you know, this is crazy, oh my God, moon, that sort of tells you to get the fuck out. Setting up a Twitter account, CryptoBot55. We've got a fresh social account, nice long strong password. We're going to have a look at what's happening here, or very sneaky advanced options. No, we don't want people to find us by our email address or our phone number. Let's go and sign up. Okay, here we are. We're straight up onto my account. Go ahead and follow. I follow some pretty cool guys as well. So if you go through and check out who I'm following, you can follow them and they're pretty awesome. After setting up on Twitter, there's two other places that you need to be. That is Bitcoin Talk and that is Reddit. Now, there can be a lot of crap on both of these things. You're just going to need to know how to filter it. Once you get to Reddit, I recommend going to Reddit Bitcoin. That's the place that you're going to want to hang out. Now, when you get to Bitcoin Talk, that place is huge. There's so much happening. You're able to interact with people that have a lot of great and a lot of crazy ideas. Have a lot of fun there. Just be mindful. Don't believe everything you read. Let's go and do that now. We've now got a basic info stream for us to be able to go ahead and research leads. Now, the next best thing is going to be some basic TA. Basic TA is an essential part of your arsenal. So what you're going to do, you're going to Google basic TA, you're going to read through a whole bunch of stuff, and then you're going to start practicing it. Once you've practiced basic TA and you've got the grips for that, you're then going to go ahead and build on that. And you're just going to keep building and building and building. Let's go and do that now. A lot of people that come to crypto have stars in their eyes. They can see the moon. Now, it doesn't always work out out like that, sometimes you're going to get wrecked. If you practice good risk management, and that's another thing you can Google, that's a huge element, and I'm not going to spend this whole video talking about risk management. It deserves its own special little place. So Google risk management, get familiar, understand how to practice basic risk management, and grow on that. Don't just go blindly all into something. I don't want to see you on one of the forums complaining about how you lost your life savings on XY shitcoin. We've got ourselves set up and we've got the socials going. We're doing a bit of research. We've got info streams. We're going to be paying attention to something called industry trends. Now, industry trends are where we can make a lot of money. So what we need to do, we need to identify industry trends and we need to get on the boat before everybody else does. Now, in the past, we've had industry trends such as masternodes, anonymous transactions, zero coin implementation, memes, smart contracts, lightning network, atomic swaps, and that's been like, you know, that's just a nutshell. So what we've been able to do is identify some of these trends early on and then participate. So, you know, back in the day, masternodes were crazy. They're still hot. Smart contracts were a big one. You know, then obviously segregate. And it was just finding these things before everybody else got involved and obviously then going ahead and profiting from them. Now, one of the big ones back in the day was smart contracts. So, and anonymous transactions. So anything back to that era that you were able to pick up cheap before everybody else, you were able to do really well. So have a look around. Like, you tell me, like, what is one of the next up and coming industry trends? I'm not going to tell you. That's something you have to figure out for yourself. And once you find it and once you get on top of it, you're going to want to start buying any coin that's related to that trend and then storing it for a longer period of time, allowing it to grow, mature, and then we come back to it. That is how you make a lot of money in crypto, by identifying these trends. We're able to set ourselves up an internet connection. We're able to get encrypted email services. We're able to establish ourselves on any number of exchanges, back up those credentials. We're practicing segregation. We have two-factor authentication. We're using hardware wallets to secure our Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies. Now, another thing is we just need to be aware that this is the foundations to be able to really set up and get involved. Now, there is a lot more to it. We're going to cover a bit more of that in the future. So just basic things about, you know, security, how to spot any, you know, scams, phishing campaigns, that sort of thing. We've now got the basic tools. We're going to go ahead and get on these exchanges and we're going to start stacking some Bitcoins.